everybody. Welcome back to another episode. It
Hello,
is
hello.
I and James.
I'm here too.
Yeah, it is us, I should say. So, today is the day, the episode we have all been waiting for. I have finally got around to watching Alien. The first two movies, that is. We'll get to the rest of them later.
Yeah, the first two are the only ones I personally only really consider majorly canon.
How so?
I've got a whole thing about them. I just think the other two were a little goofy.
Yeah. I mean, I do remember you, having a gripe with the beginning of the third movie, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. That being said, the Aliens, especially the Alien and Aliens, those first two movies are my favorite horror movies of all time.
Yeah, oh my God, they're so good. Also, I feel like we probably should have said this when talking about prior movies, or prior movies and stuff, especially during our Rob Zombie episode. But we're just gonna go ahead and say it. Spoiler warning for anyone who has not watched Alien and Aliens. Those are the two that we're gonna be talking about today.
Oh
So
yeah, massive
if you
spoiler
haven't,
warning.
yeah, if you haven't seen them, wait until you watch them to watch this episode. It would make a lot more sense. But if you're like, you know us or other friends that don't really care about certain movies being spoiled, feel free to join. You're more than welcome to stay. We can't force you,
Either
but
way, please,
we're gonna recommend.
please go watch those movies. They're so fucking good.
Oh my God, they're amazing. Anyway, so I guess we'll start with Alien. Uh, we'll start with the first one because that makes the most sense, right?
Yeah.
All right. So basically, quick rundown. Alien was created or it was released in May of 1979. So this is the first movie of the Alien franchise. And it was directed by Ridley Scott, who has made other movies. Like he's made Prometheus, Blade Runner, he's done Gladiator, if you've ever seen those.
It's a very accomplished
Kingdom
director.
of Heaven, which is a really amazing movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a very accomplished director here. He also this specific movie out of the rest of the Alien series is the one that fits more closely to a pretty standard slasher formula, except with an
Hmm.
alien instead. Oh, also a little fun fact about this one: almost all of this movie set, like the ship, is pretty much all one connected set. It was really fucking impressive.
I love that. Like I remember when you told me that, James, I'm like, no way.
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh, I know, because again, I just recently watched the movies. So I'm like, oh, okay, they're on a ship and that's about it. But I didn't really, after watching the movie and seeing how intricate like the rooms of the ship are and like all this different stuff and the planet, I'm just like, wow. Holy crap, how do they pull this off flawlessly?
it's really impressive.
Or
Some of
like
the
even
best. It's one of
oh, go
my
ahead.
favorite set designs on a movie.
Yeah, it's really good. For those who haven't seen the movie or want a refresher or anything, the name of the ship in the movie is called the Nostromo. That's basically where the entire movie takes place. That's basically the set, other than the actual planet that the Xenomorphs reside on. The Nostromo is the main set. Like that's basically probably like 99% of
With a
the
little
movie
tiny bit of it
setting.
being on the planet.
A very tiny amount. I think it's only when they go to go see that ship, and then also when they're unless I'm thinking of the second movie. No, it's the second movie. Uh yeah, I'm thinking of the second movie, never mind. It's just when they go to, see that ship thingy.
Yeah.
Uh but yeah, it was super cool. Um Seeing how all of that detail um just is what was literally just confined to one space, one set. And I think, from what I heard correctly, I believe that Ridley Scott himself shot a lot of the film himself.
Oh yeah. I think that's what I've heard as well.
Yeah, which is really cool because that's not something that you usually hear very much happening, especially now, where you have like a whole team of people that are like doing the camera work and design, the costume design, all that stuff. But it's really cool.
Yeah. Alien especially, there's something about just the way the set is set up, where it's futuristic, but still somehow kind of retro. It's it's a really interesting combination because at the time in the 70s, that was the machinery they had to work with to make these technologically advanced machines.
Hmm.
But the way it looks now, looking back on it, is really interesting with the big old clunky monitors and the giant ass keyboards. The
No,
keyboards
I love
themselves that
it.
they use are really interesting. If you notice, they don't actually use letters and numbers like a normal QWERTY keyboard. They're a bunch of symbols.
Hmm.
Uh, those symbols, apparently in universe, were designed to be universally accessible to all languages at once.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really neat little keyboard. I kind of wish I had. Kind of wish I had one because it looks really cool.
Honestly, I don't blame you. It was really, really neat. Also, James, really fun fact that I actually found out when, researching a little bit. So, the really iconic title card that opens the movie?
Yeah,
So that actually was designed by a legendary Oscar-winning designer by the name of Saul Bass. Is it Bass or Bass? It's one of them.
I
So sorry if
bet.
I think it's Bass. But he also designed the opening credit for The Shining and
Oh,
Vertigo.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, he did The Shining, Vertigo, and Anatomy of a Murder, I believe.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he wasn't credited in the final product, but he made it.
They do line up a lot in just the really suspenseful way he draws it out, and just the music, especially in that section of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna derail this a little bit, but I just need to can we just talk about the design of the xenomorph? Because James, you know me, I love me a good xenomorph,
Oh,
man.
I fucking love the Xenomorph. It's one of my favorite monster designs I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's so gorgeous. Like,
Heavily,
I don't know
heavily,
what it is about them, but they're just so beautiful.
they're
It's like
heavily
they're
inspired,
perfect.
heavily inspired by what was his name? H.R. Geiger's works, especially. There's a specific one. I forgot what the art name of it, but it's basically the Xenomorph before the Xenomorph was a thing. Uh,
Hmm.
he had a giant amount of influence into the way that the film was made, including this is something a lot of video essays have kind of touched on the aspect of it kind of flipping sexual abuse onto in a movie in a sort of allegorical way with the face huggers, the little things, literally forcefully impregnating people through their throats, having this creature burst out of their chest.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, and most of the time you won't even really get that from it. It is extraordinarily impressive. The lengths that were done through producing the suit, because this is a suit. This isn't a puppet in the first movie. Some guy's in that.
Oh yeah.
It was some like practically 7 foot tall dude that they got specifically to play him. He does a
I
great
think
job
after
playing.
that, oh yeah, he did amazing. I think like the second movie and forward, I think they had puppets or other people I can't remember, but
I think
I
that
don't
guy was specifically in just the first movie.
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, James, since you actually did bring up the chest burster, obviously one of the most famous scenes ever in film. It's amazing, glorious art. But so, for record people, so there's this scene in the first Alien movie that is again probably the most famous scene in the film and of all time. Like it's recorded as just magnificent inspirational stuff here. But it's at this moment where one of the crew members
Kane.
by the name of Kane
Yeah,
was impregnated by a facehugger and an alien burst through his chest at dinner. And so again, I'm very interested in a bunch of like how SFX makeup and practical effects, all that stuff. Back in high school or middle school or high school, I actually attended a meeting seminar thing from some of the people that actually worked on Alien.
you did.
And it was a cool
Cool as
field trip.
hell.
I know, but basically what happened, how they did that scene. I'm so glad they explained. It, I remember it. But basically, how they did it is the people that did the design and stuff created a mechanical torso, laid it out on the table, and the guy who played Kane laid under this table with his head, shoulders, and his arms protruding through a hole in the table to make it look like it was just his body.
It's a
And this
similar way they
torso,
did Ash's death, right?
yeah, I believe so. Yeah, but this mechanical torso was packed with like animal guts and a small compressed air cannon. And when they activated the cannon, the chest cavity burst open and all of these animal guts would just spill everywhere. And the alien puppet would come up through under the table. And a lot of people say that the scene was filmed in one take, but no. It took them a few times because a few times the mechanism didn't fire.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because I think James, you told me about this, but in order to kind of like create the shock and whatever, Ridley Scott purposely left some of the cast in the dark about what was happening, and they in the script they said that something would come out of Kane's chest, but they had no idea what it was.
They didn't
So when
describe
that
what they
little,
were about to be in. They
not
had
at
no
all.
idea it was going to be that violent. Like the actress, I forgot what her name was, who played. I think she was the first mate. What was she? Anyway, that one of the actresses, not Ellen Ripley, who was
Oh, Lambert.
played by the amazing Sigourney Weaver. Her gasp of extreme fear and like
I think
freak
you're
out.
talking about Lambert.
Lambert, yeah. Really loud gasp of the blood and freak out of the blood getting on her. Yeah, that was real.
Yeah, that was her. And it's so funny because Miss Weaver, who played Ripley, as James said, she thought that the guy who played Kane, I think his name was John Hurt, he thought that she thought that he was actually dying, and she only stayed in character because no one shouted cut.
Oh Jesus! It was just that fucking. It was real. It was convincing. It was very fucking convincing.
And it was so funny because I think I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but the guy who played Parker, he said that he went home that night in a state of shock. He locked himself in his bathroom and refused to talk to his wife for like hours. Like he was like, nope, I need to process this.
They scared the shit out of these actors. These are some really genuine reactions in that part of the scene.
Yeah. But I just thought that was so funny.
It was amazing. Oh yeah. Now, being that this is a movie from the late '70s here, some of the actual jump scares and the kills are a little goofy. There's a bit where the alien pops up in the vents to kill Dallas, and he just kind of puts his hands out. Like he's like, "Haha, I gotcha!" type thing, and it cuts. Yeah. A lot of the kills in this movie are not extraordinarily graphic. It's a lot of don't show and then just let you hear it, or a lot of stuff happening behind closed doors, which I think adds to the sense of dread.
Oh yeah.
I like concealed kills like that sometimes because I think it does a really good job building suspense.
Oh yeah. And what was it? Oh, you're gonna really think this is really cool, James. I'm sorry, I keep thinking of stupid shit,
There, good.
but I guess that's the point of this, right?
Yeah.
But another thing I found really interesting when I did research is that Ridley Scott actually took inspirations from other movies. The three big ones that were like his big influences when he made Alien were Star Wars, for
Right.
like the kind of like the design of the spaceship and stuff and the costume design, uh and uh Mother, the Nostromo supercomputer, was actually based off of Hal from 2001 Space Odyssey.
Also, he drew from all my favorite films.
And then the violence in the tension was based off of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
He drew from all my favorite fucking movies.
Mm-hmm.
God, there's a lot to be said about. I could
I didn't
talk
know you were
for.
a Star Wars buff, James.
It's not specifically Star Wars, but it's the other ones, especially 2001's. 2001's a really interesting film because it's Stanley Kubrick's first major film debut.
Mm-hmm.
And good God, I could talk for a while about that film. That's one of the films that it felt like a horror movie to me when I watched it because I watched it alone in my house, chilling with my dog at like midnight to 2 a.m., maybe 3 a.m. because it's a
Mm-hmm.
really long movie. And there's just parts in there where I was just kind of sitting there, mouth agape, like, oh my fucking God. Because there's some really dreadful, like tense, really terrifying moments in that film, especially when Hal goes haywire and starts killing people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good film. Although I won't recommend it to everyone. Because it was midnight, there's a lot of really, really long, drawn out sections in there. I fell asleep for part of it.
Oh god. Didn't you say something about like how you and Zeke were just like chilling on like this couch or something watching this movie
Yeah.
and you were so fucking tired, but then like you woke up and then like you're nodding off, and you just woke up to this baby head or something, and it just scared the shit out of you.
No, it was the fucking final. Zeke is my dog, by the way, a little Boston Terrier that I've had for 10 years now. But
Yes.
I'm sitting there watching it with my. Zeke's looking at the screen too. So we're just sitting there. It's the very ending of it. And there's this weird fucked up sequence where it's not even in space. It's just like this white room, and it's like he's like watching time pass, and he just gets older and older. And then
Yeah.
it slowly pans out while the fucking that theme, the dun, 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 yeah, the Space Odyssey theme that everyone calls it, but it's a really well known classical piece. There's a lot of great classical music in there,
Mhm.
as well as I think it was Waltz of the Flowers. You know, dun 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 dun, that one. But this
Yeah.
part, it's playing that big swelling theme, and it pans out to to Earth, and Earth has a giant. It's a human embryo. There's a human embryo in it, and then it looks straight at the camera, and then the movie ends. Just dark screen. And I'm sitting there, pitch dark, like, what the fuck?
That's how the movie ended. You're kidding.
Yes,
I need to watch this now, just to because I'm so intrigued now. What the hell?
it is
That's
an
so weird.
insane movie. You thought the rest of Stanley Kubrick's works are nuts? Watch that one. That one's even nuttier.
That's so weird. Oh my god.
I actually rather like Stanley Kubrick's movies. I'm getting really off topic here, but I actually rather like Stanley Kubrick's movies, aside from how he treats his actors.
Yeah. Anyway, but I guess differentiate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
But
The
just
movie's
imagine falling asleep, like watching a movie and falling asleep, and then just waking up and just seeing a fucking human fetus on the screen, and the movie's over.
human fetus that is planet sized inside of a planet.
Oh my god. You know what? Do I even want to know?
It's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
I'll have to watch it though. I'm intrigued now, especially.
Yeah. But getting back on topic here, you're
Yeah.
talking about Mother specifically from Alien.
Mhm.
What I thought was really, really amazing about this movie, you know, a lot of horror movies, you see actors, the actors make really stupid decisions and die because of it. In
Oh
this
yeah,
film,
all the time.
that doesn't really happen a whole lot. There's a couple of moments where people actively disobey Ellen Ripley there, who's tries to get them to quarantine Kane when he comes back with the facehugger, and does all these things. Keeps telling them that all right, we should just get out of here. We gotta do this, and people keep ignoring her. But people keep ignoring her because of active sabotage from Ash, who this is a giant spoiler right here if you haven't clicked out already. Ash is a company android, which was left from out of any of the. It wasn't told to anyone on board, and his only purpose was specifically to try and get the alien back on the ship alive.
Uh-huh.
So he's out.
Because what else do you do?
Yeah, they wanted it for their bioweapons. They wanted to make it a bioweapon. Wayland Yutani, the company in the movie, and Ash. It just keeps going over Ripley's head, opening the airlock, all that stuff. But I like this movie because it sets it up in a realistic way.
Mhm.
It's not characters fucking up and then dying because of it. There's an actual purpose, an actual proper reason the plot keeps driving forward rather than spooky.
Spooky. Like, and it's probably one of the most tense movies that I've ever seen because of just that. Because I was sitting there watching this, and I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be, they're gonna do something stupid. But it's really the opposite. I mean, yes, stupid things were made, but it was in the name of something else. It wasn't just because the characters were idiots. They did it for, or one, I should say, Ash did it for a specific reason to sabotage.
Yeah,
And just seeing how, especially Ripley, because, okay, Ripley is probably like, because again, it was during this time, especially, where pop culture was dominated by male heroes. Ripley proved not only to be a great female character, but probably one of the best characters in sci-fi horror in just any genre altogether.
she's
Because
my
she has
favorite.
strength, she has resilience, she resonates with the audience because she's an ordinary person doing her best in a horrible situation.
Yeah,
Immediately, it's something that viewers can relate to, but also aspire to be.
she's
Because think about it, like she's afraid, absolutely, but she's fighting anyway. Because, you know, of course, the crew never encountered a xenomorph before. Like this is kind of like the first time we see something like this, and it's like represented. The xenomorph is represented it represents the worst of anyone's nightmares. Like a monstrous alien creature, it kills its victims in brutal ways. It has acidic blood. It harms its enemy, causes major damage to the ship. It's tall, strong, faster than any human being, but it's because of Ripley's resourcefulness and will to survive that really helped her, you know, take on this giant creature that she's never dealt with before. And after becoming the Nostromo's only surviving crew member, she continues to fight these aliens in the next movie and probably, on that, obviously, if there's more.
It makes her
But
swear to her. It literally makes her make a lifelong oath to fucking destroy the things wherever they're found.
exactly. And she fully understood the threat of the aliens and could have run away from her problems, but she chose not to. She instead chose to face them head on. Because she has no hesitation. If there's something that needs to be done, she made sure that it got done. If Ripley had allowed fear to conquer her, she would have seen greater fears such as like a painful death or even worse. But fortunately for her, she was able to summon incredible inner strength and it allowed her to survive until the future, obviously, when she could have just died in the first movie just like the other ones.
A really interesting thing about Ripley, especially, is that in the book that it's adapted from, because just about everything in movies is adapted from a book.
Mm-hmm.
None of the characters' genders are ever explicitly mentioned. Ripley didn't have a first name; it was simply E. Ripley in the book, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So they were gonna originally cast them as male, but really Scott decided it'd be more interesting to make a female lead like that, and I think he
Yes.
was extremely well foresighted, especially in casting Sigourney Weaver, because Sigourney Weaver's awesome,
I love her.
one of my favorite actresses. Her and it's her and Jamie Lee Curtis that are my favorite horror movie
Oh my
actresses.
god, Jamie Lee Curtis. I love her so much.
Amazing.
Oh, I feel like I've seen. You know what's really funny? She was also. Have you ever seen Avatar?
I've seen the first one.
She's in Avatar.
I feel like I remember it being in there somewhere.
Yeah, she was. What was her name? Grace. Grace.
I haven't seen Avatar in a very, very long time. We're talking
Good.
about the James Cameron one, right?
Yes. Yeah, she was in Ghostbusters, I think too.
Really?
Yeah, Ghostbusters, Galaxy Quest. I don't know where I was like.
Oh
I know she was
yeah.
in something else. She was in Galaxy Quest.
Which Ghostbusters was she in?
Hmm.
Which Ghostbusters was she in?
I think she was in the first one, and she was also in Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I'm surprised I didn't recognize her. She also
Yeah, she
recently
was.
starred in.
She was. Dana, I think Dana Barrett.
She's what the hell?
Let me fact check myself. Hang on. Let me just make sure. I think she was Dana Barrett, but make sure. Yeah, she was. I can't
How
believe
did
I remembered that.
how did I never know that was her? Didn't recognize her. That's
I can't
nuts.
believe I remembered that. Honestly, I'm shocked. Good, I'm a high five myself. I'm good. That's my lowest
That is
pathetic.
Jamie Lee Curtis. What the hell? I guess I just hadn't. I watched Ghostbusters when I was rather young, so I didn't realize that was her.
Wait, what? Wait, what about Jamie Lee Curtis?
Being Dana.
No, that's Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney Weaver was Dana.
Yeah.
You said Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh fuck. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm thinking about
I
several
got
ones.
I got what you were laying down. I got you, fam.
I'm thinking about several people at once.
Yeah. No, you good. I got you, dog.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver has been in so many fucking films. Oh yeah, she was also recently Jamie Lee Curtis, especially specifically right here, was a part of Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is a really amazing film. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I think it won a Oscar recently. It's a long film, but I liked it a lot. And she plays a tax employee. I forgot what they're called. One of the people that's IRS employee, and it's really fucking funny. That movie's interesting. Sorry about that, friends. We just had a internet shit out moment.
And it was me this time.
Yeah, my computer is staying okay now because I installed a new graphics driver recently,
Oh, don't.
so it's not freaking out as much.
If you say that, it's going to crash on you. Stop.
But while I was in the process, I was looking through some different things that Sigourney Weaver's been, and she's also been in A Tale of Despero as the narrator. I didn't realize
What?
that. I thought that was kind of neat. She was also in The Village,
Yeah.
the M. Night Shyamalan. And it was the Planet Express ship in Futurama, apparently.
Nice.
That's pretty funny. I don't know how I didn't know that.
Hey.
We
Uh, well, I'm trying to remember what we were talking about before my internet went.
were talking about specifically the actresses Sigourney Weaver and Jamie Lee
Yeah.
Curtis.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard me, but I'm just gonna say it again in case it didn't cut it out or whatever. She's also amazing because she's forklift certified.
Oh yeah, in the film she's forklift certified. She is also. Oh yeah, we're getting more into aliens with this bit, which is a very interesting. It's a really impressive movie. I've heard a lot of people consider it a allegory for the Vietnam War, given that it's a bunch of highly advanced humans, uh, highly advanced like Marines, going in overconfident to a situation that they think is below them, and then getting shit wrecked.
Oh, we're already talking about aliens.
It looks yeah, we're moving on to that a little bit because that's where she's forklift certified. It mentions that
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
because that's where another big spoiler if you haven't clicked out yet, where she fist fights the alien queen in a big old front loader mech suit type thing,
I know.
and
So
says
dope.
my favorite Sigourney Weaver Ellen Ripley line, "Get away from her, you bitch."
I know, that was so good.
The thing I always found interesting about that scene is the fact that they decided to not include music in that final fight.
Which honestly makes it so much better. There you go.
I thought it was interesting. A lot of times they like to have these big orchestral scores during final fight scenes like that, but they just left it to the sounds of the hydraulics and the grunts of Ripley being tossed around inside it and the Queen screaming. And I thought it was really interesting. You don't see fight scenes very often that don't have a lot of music to it.
Yeah. Also, another thing about Aliens, the second film, this time around, it was actually directed by James Cameron.
Was it? Okay, that makes
Yep.
sense.
James Cameron, which was funny because Sigourney would actually go on to work with James Cameron, like we talked about in Avatar.
Yeah, that's really funny. Well, he did a really great job conducting the second one because despite how amazingly tense the first one is, I actually think the tension is even heightened in the second movie.
Oh God, yeah. I was like, me and James were when we were watching it, I was like cuddling up closer to him, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So
I've
like, what's gonna happen?
I've watched the movie a bunch of times, and holy shit, there's a scene in there where they're looking at the motion tracker, and they're seeing a billions
Yes.
of blips getting closer to them, and
I literally
Hudson's
gasped so loud.
Hudson's freaking out. They're reading it. It's getting closer, and then it gets impossibly close to them, to the point where it should be in front of them in the room, and they're not there. And I think it was whoever the sergeant was opens up the vent in the roof and slowly pokes his head up and flashes his flashlight up there and sees hundreds of aliens crawling through the vents at him. And that scene always freaks me out a little because holy shit, there's so fucking many of them.
There's so many. Like, look, that made me actually gasp, like,
That movie also has one of my favorite lines, aside from it has my two favorite lines in the entire Alien series. Get away from her, you bitch, and game over, man! Game over!
Yeah, that's so funny.
I like Hudson in that film. He freaks the fuck out the entire film. That also has one of the only moments in Aliens where I've audibly kind of yelled at the screen because there's a bit in there where they're right under the coolant section that if they fire, it could very easily turn the place into a giant fireball. And they tell that to the Marines in there when they go in to try and retrieve the colonists that are down there. Little do they know they're all walled up and
Mm-hmm.
by the aliens. But they're sitting there, and instead of telling the Marines, "All right, we're confiscating your bullets so you can't fire," because if you fire, we'll all turn to a fireball. They just order them to give over their bullets over, which leads to, of course, several of them being super headstrong, keeping holdout weapons. Like Hudson kept his fucking 12-gauge shotgun, which we're still using in like the year 3000. What is it?
Um, let me research that.
Yeah, he's still
Anyway,
using.
continue while I'm doing
It's the
so.
future, and this dude still has a side-by-side 12-gauge. He kept that. A couple of them kept hold out bullets, and I feel like a lot of what went down in that scene just would not have happened if they simply explained to them why they can't shoot.
That pissed me off so
Yeah.
much. I'm like, man, you should have just said like just a few seconds. It would have took, and then all those people probably wouldn't have died. But you know, hey, that's okay.
I also feel especially bad for the poor guy who got hit. I think they accidentally whipped to the side with the flamethrowers that they were using, and lit the guy who was holding all the ammunition on fire, which caused him to violently explode. Remember that?
One more time.
The guy, the guy who was holding on the ammunition, someone misfired with the flamethrower and lit him on
Oh
fire.
yeah, and you just went.
Yeah, he just he got vaporized, and bullet casings went everywhere. It was a bad time.
Yeah.
And then we also had
Where?
Newt. Newt was a part of the second movie.
Yeah. Okay, I can't find a timeline for the movie, like the actual year it
Yeah,
was.
it's in the future,
Um, yeah, somewhere in the future. That's all you gotta know.
somewhere in the far future. They still haven't figured out how to how to use transistors.
Yeah, apparently not.
Uh, but yeah, we also have Newt, who's another amazing character, which Ellen Ripley becomes almost like a mother to because her parents have been killed by the aliens, and she's the only human survivor in the entire colony that they actually run across who's survived like
Just like
months.
Ripley.
Yeah, Newt's insane. She survived months in a alien packed facility on her own as like a 9-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm. Incredible.
She's amazing. And I love the dynamic between the two the entire film, especially with Ripley looking after her the whole time. Especially
Yeah.
the scene where, oh god, remember the company man?
Oh God, yeah, I hated. I wanted to punch him in the. He had such a punchable face.
The actor did a very good job of selling a jackass that only cares about the company.
Mm-hmm. Also, you remember how we just talked about how Alien got made because of Star Wars?
Yeah,
You want to know what movie helped Aliens get made?
was it Full Metal Jacket?
No, fucking Conan the Destroyer.
What?
I'm not kidding. I'm literally not kidding.
How so? Did they take inspiration from it?
Uh, well, first off, the movie, not the guy. So basically, what happened is, if I remember correctly, is that based on the script for the Terminator that was at that point in pre-production, James Cameron was approached by 20th Century Fox to write an Alien sequel, but the outline he came up with for Aliens got meh reaction, and the idea was put on hold for the time being. Then, as luck would have it, the start date for the Terminator was pushed back 9 months so that Arnold Schwarzenegger could make Conan the Destroyer.
Oh,
So
oh!
this extra 3/4 of a year gave Cameron time to write 3/4 of a full screenplay for Aliens and not just an outline. He also co-wrote Rambo: First Blood Part 2 during this time, by the way. Fun fact for those listening. The Fox people then liked what they read, and then Cameron was told by them if Terminator was proved successful, he could write and direct Aliens. And
And
so there you go.
I'm very glad he did because those are two really really great films.
Yeah. It also
Wasn't
took 7
Sigourney
years for the movie to get made too.
wasn't Sigourney Weaver also in Terminator?
I believe. I
Who
don't
was in
think so,
who
actually.
played Sarah Connor on Terminator?
I know she wasn't in it. I think that was Linda Hamilton. I think.
Sarah Connor.
I believe that was Sarah. No, yeah, I believe that was Linda Hamilton. Let me check.
Yep, Linda Hamilton. I don't know why I thought she was Sigourney Weaver for a long time. I guess I'm
Yeah.
imagining.
Man, I'm on my A game with these actors today. God.
Oh, yeah.
She was also in Avatar too,
Yeah.
believe it or not. I think she was in Way of Water.
James Cameron uses a lot of really brilliant actors in his films. I actually rather like James Cameron.
Yeah,
He was
he's a cool dude.
he's also been down and has seen the Titanic a couple times because he said that he made the movie The Titanic because he wanted an excuse to go down and see the Titanic himself
Honestly, fair enough.
in a safe manner,
Yeah,
professional
we're
manner, in
we're not
regards
gonna go
to
ahead.
something else
Yeah,
that's happened this recently. Good lord.
yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. So don't ask.
Yeah.
One
I think
thing that we're not going to do on this podcast is talk about anything that has proven to be disrespectful or proven to be political in any way, shape, or form. So I'm sorry if you guys wanted to hear our thoughts on it. We're not going to go there.
yeah, we can't go
So
there.
we're not
But
going there.
James
Especially
Cameron.
as my thing as an unbiased journalist, I will not go there.
Oh yeah,
So we're going to bypass that, pretend we never talked about it.
yeah. But
Anyway,
the only reason I
oh,
brought that is because James Cameron was just he's very, very skilled in a lot of different things. It makes me
oh
very.
yeah.
He was born in Ontario, Canada, there, and
Hmm.
he's made a lot of movies that I really, really love. Oh, he also directed The Abyss. That's pretty cool. Uh, he did Titanic. He did Avatar. Uh, and he's just done a shit ton of stuff that I really liked. Apparently, he's also worked with John Carpenter before.
Oh yeah. But he's done Terminator. He's done Titanic. He did Rambo. He
Yeah.
did Point Break. Trying to think if there's anything else I can remember. Don't remember. I don't think I can't think of anything else.
Oh shit! During
Uh
his dives with the Challenger Deep, the submarine they used for filming bits of the Titanic, he
mhm.
discovered three new species, including like a sea cucumber, a squid worm, and a giant single-celled amoeba. He found.
Oh, that's cool.
Wait, you found a giant amoeba?
I love that.
That's pretty fucking rad.
That is rad. Love it. But yeah, James, uh I don't remember if I finished, but whatever. I'll just say it again. Did you know that it took 7 years for Aliens to get made?
7 years, damn. Oh yeah, I
7
remember that.
years.
They po- what I liked about Alien especially is it didn't feel like a cash grab with the second film like a lot of sequels.
Oh no.
It wasn't made because they wanted to capitalize real quick off the success of the first film. It was made because they legitimately wanted to make an extension on it. And I feel like it fits way better into the story because of that.
Yeah. But what you may ask, fellow audience, why did it take 7 years for a sequel to get made? Well, money and lawyers, of course. So
Lyris.
so basically, after the talk of a sequel started, it was delayed because of a dispute between the film's producers and 20th Century Fox over the distribution of the original movie's profits, of fucking course. So Fox was reluctant to make a sequel because it would be expensive, but finally agreed as a way of settling the beef with the producer. So basically, they were like, "Oh, we're not going to give you any more of the first movie's profits, but we'll greenlight a sequel and you can make money from that." Which is hilarious because the same producers plus Cameron and his wife sued Fox again after Aliens, claiming the studio had used creative accounting techniques to avoid paying them.
Just classic 20th Century Fox things.
Yeah. And then, James Cameron and, Gail Ann Hurd, actually helped Weaver get what she deserved because first, by refusing to make the film without her, and also by refusing to keep it a secret that she was the only person in consideration for the lead role.
Perfect.
Fox didn't like that second point, as it put Weaver's agent in a very strong bargaining position. And sure enough, Weaver got I think like she like $1 million and a percentage of the profits. And it gets better for
Ooh.
Weaver as the franchise went on. So she made like 4 million of Alien 3 and like 11 million for Alien Resurrection. For the first film, guess how much you got paid for the first film?
How much?
$35,000.
That's not much.
No,
In acting.
no.
I'm glad they stuck with their guns and made Sigourney the only lead role in that. Because if I saw someone else as Ellen Ripley, I would have been pissed.
Oh, I love yeah.
You can't really replace just the way she went about the character.
Yeah,
She is Ellen Ripley, and there's no one that can replace her.
yeah. And also, like you said, James, now that I've thought about it, it was based off a book.
Yeah,
So I believe that Alan Dean Foster wrote the paperback versions for the first three Alien films. of course, with some titles in the Star Wars, Star Trek, Terminator, Transformers franchises, and some differences among them was Newt is I believe she's actually 12 in the movie, but she's 6 in the book.
Ah,
And then Ripley becomes more despondent after like withdrawal, depressed, traumatized by what happened in the Nostromo. Of course, in the movie she's a lot tougher. And then Ripley immediately realizes that Bishop is an android, though she doesn't confront him until later.
yeah.
Also, the scene with the famous knife trick also isn't in the book because I've read the book.
Oh, Bishop. I love Bishop.
I love
Bishop's one of my
Bishop.
favorite characters,
Yeah.
especially the knife scene.
Mhm. And also, in the book, there are several colonists that are still alive on the alien planet, not just Newt. And Ripley opens fire on the Queen as soon as he sees her, rather than the negotiate. That was my favorite scene in the book.
Yeah.
Just when she walks in, it's like.
Also in the book, she just sees her and says, "You know what? Fuck you."
Yeah, and it just opens fire. Yeah.
That's amazing. I actually rather liked. I also like the. I like both versions of the scenes. Honestly, I feel like the
Hmm.
first perfectly encapsulates her rage against the aliens, and the second one was really interesting in showing there's an almost intelligence to the alien queen.
Also, that so another fun fact. So remember, Fox. Fox
I
didn't hadn't immediately planned on making a sequel, like I said. So they didn't keep the sets and the models lying around. Luckily, a collector had the original model and other of the alien props preserved at his home. He's like, "Oh, you guys want to film a sequel? Here you go," and they just gave them back their stuff.
I'm. That's really nice to that guy. I'm really glad they did
So
that.
yeah, so that same creepy derelict ship that was used in the same Alien movie is the same one in the sequel.
Oh shit! Really?
Mm-hmm. Same thing.
Man. Oh, I'm looking at some of the bits of the bishop's knife trick. It may not surprise anyone, but that scene was filmed as they sped the footage of it up.
Yeah.
Wasn't that between him and Hudson as well?
Yes, I believe.
My two personal favorite characters, other than Ellen, of course, and
Mm-hmm.
Aliens. I
Yeah.
know Hudson gets on a lot of people's nerves, but I think Hudson's just really funny.
He is. Game over, man. Game over. I
His loud ass voice crack.
know. It's hilarious.
Game over, man. Game
Game
over.
over.
Uh, and he made it through almost the entire film too.
Yeah. So close yet so far away.
Him, Hicks, and Valdez.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Valdez, another great major female character in the film.
Oh
Remember,
yeah.
remember Valdez, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I didn't like her much in the beginning, but then again, she warmed on me pretty quick.
yeah. In the beginning, she really just kind of portrays this big old tough macho girl because she's sitting there doing pull-ups in the lunch mess cantina.
Mm-hmm.
Lunch mess cantina. What the fuck is that? Why did I just?
I was
Y'all
like,
ever just say stuff and then you look back at it and you're like, why did I say that?
yeah, all the time, man, all the time.
Good lordy.
Like how I keep calling you dog.
Our friend's speech is infected. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'm cool with it, absolutely. So, whatever.
Oh
I
yeah.
almost called you dog again. I'm gonna shut up before I even do it again. Oh no, it's infecting me. The language of the dog is infecting me.
Oh god. Oh yeah. As we talked about in one of the bonus episodes that we did recently, where I ranted for about an hour about my favorite game, Dead by Daylight. Alien came to Dead by Daylight recently.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they were not able or didn't go through the process of getting Sigourney Weaver's likeness. But I feel like they did a pretty good job making an Ellen Ripley.
Yeah. Why didn't they get to do that, by the way?
They have had issues with getting characters facial licenses before. I don't understand exactly the whole bits of it, but they have their own version of Laurie Strode there. The only character likenesses that I've seen them actually fully get were Nancy and Steve for Stranger Things, which is funny because that's been retracted now,
Hmm.
and Nicolas Cage, which isn't exactly a character. And I swear, I think Nicolas Cage just walked up to the devs and like, hey, can I be in the game? And they're like, yeah.
It's Nicolas Cage. How can you say no to Nicolas Cage? Come on, bro.
He has the most lines of dialogue out of any character in the game. Uh, Insults and yells at killers and survivors alike. Uh, Raves to himself in his usual nutcase, amazing Nick Cage manner. I fucking love Nick Cage. He's one of my other favorite actors. And
Hmm.
apparently, the reason he wanted to be in the game was because in the recent film, uh, what was it? Renfield, where he plays Dracula. Apparently, he took major inspiration from Sadako, the ghost girl from Ringu, the Japanese
Really?
version of the Ring. He took a lot of inspiration in his movements as Dracula from Sadako, which led to him becoming really fond with the character. And when he saw Sadako was in the game, he really, really wanted to be in the game. And it's also funny because I think his son plays it too.
Really?
Yeah, imagine playing like your favorite computer game, and one day your dad shows up as the new playable survivor.
That'd be so funny though.
That's amazing. He even has a voice interaction for when he sees Sadako. It's
Oh, one
amazing.
more time?
He even has a voice interaction for when he sees Sadako.
Oh, that's so nice. It's like, hey, I remember you, or
Yeah,
something like that.
it's he lives. His wife apparently is. She's also of Japanese descent and has really long hair, so I think it might be a bit of a joke in that because he says,
Hmm.
"No, Sadako, not you." Wait a second, I live with Sadako. We can have a little Sadako.
That I love that.
I fucking love Nick Cage and everything he's in.
Nicolas Cage is just like a godsend. He's just one of those people that those actors that are just so funny and just unpredictable, completely unpredictable.
I like him and what's his name, uh, the British actor that's in a lot of films. Uh, he played Harry Potter as a child.
Oh, bro,
Yeah,
how do you
Daniel
forget Daniel
Radcliffe.
Radcliffe? He played
Nick,
literally Weird Al. What do
yeah,
you mean?
Nicolas Cage and Daniel Radcliffe. I love because of their willingness to do weird ass roles.
Yes.
Nicolas Cage also was recently in A Color Out of Space, which is a H.P. Lovecraft novel that was adapted into a film, which I've been meaning to see. It was also in a really, really interesting artsy um, a horror film called Mandy, where he has there's a scene I've seen of him just drenched in blood, holding an axe, like smiling like a maniac. I've been meaning to see that too. It looks nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But what's I still find it really funny in Dead by Daylight that Nicolas Cage was not added as a character, like like a character from one of his films or something. He was added as the actor, as himself,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that because that's the only time that's ever happened in that game.
It's so funny too because I think yeah, even like Keanu Reeves does the same thing. Like I think the funniest thing that I've ever heard of is that Keanu Reeves turned down like multi-million-dollar contracts with Marvel, yet uh he agreed to be a freaking tumbleweed in the SpongeBob
SpongeBob.
movie.
But you
I
know,
I love Keanu Reeves. Like literally. Okay, fun fact about me, everybody. I love Keanu Reeves. He's
I
like
do
one of my
too.
favorite actors. I love Keanu Reeves.
I
So
fucking love
hearing
Power Rangers.
that he it's like, Marvel, I don't need y'all. Oh, SpongeBob? Alright, I'm in. It's just so funny to me.
Yeah,
It's
he
like
doesn't need to
literally,
sell out. He's got his own super successful motorcycle company. He's done all the films he wants to. He's allowed to just yeah, sure, I'll do whatever the hell I want.
yeah, yeah, sure, whatever.
And
It's like literally, it's like a Nick Cage move.
he's stayed super humble too. He still takes public transit. People see him on the subway all the time.
Oh, did you hear? This is going off of topic, of course, but did you hear that story about like how like Keanu Reeves got like literally invited to some person's wedding on the
Yeah,
top, and it's so funny. I love him. I love Keanu Reeves.
it was just in town. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll stop by for your wedding.
Ah, yeah, and sure enough, he showed up.
Yeah. He's another one of my favorite major actors. Uh,
Yes.
I especially love all the John Wick movies, all of them. I don't think I've seen a single John Wick movie I was dissatisfied with.
Mm-hmm.
Good lord, the Dragon's Breath scene from the most recent film.
Mm-hmm.
I love
But
that.
yeah. Switching back gears a little bit, I do kind of want to talk about the actual xenomorph because
Oh
that's
yeah.
the alien. I feel like we should probably dive into that a little bit because
Oh yeah,
I
of
love
course.
it. So, obviously the original xenomorph suit was actually designed to look, as biochemical as possible, yet still organic to nature.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because they used two products to accomplish this. Guess what they are?
What are they?
KY jelly and condoms. I'm not joking. Yeah, I
That makes
laughed too when
sense.
I first heard that.
That makes a lot of sense.
But no, like, seriously, like literally, the former was used to give the alien its slimy appearance, especially when it came to like the drool, and it was also used in the KY jelly is used to like do the slimy appearance, drool, all that stuff, and then the condoms were used to stimulate the tendons that lined the alien's set of like the inner jaws. So using either must have been a hit on set, but the end effect was exactly what it needed. Like it looks fantastic.
Oh yeah. That must have been really fucking weird to wear as the actor.
Just lube and condoms. It's so ironic because the look at the alien's head. Look at it. Look at it.
Oh yeah, the alien is very phallic and very sexual and just in nature.
Yeah, it's so funny. They knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
And also, one thing that I actually thought was really super interesting between the alien and aliens is the difference between the head. In the alien, the head is very sloped, very smooth, while in aliens, it's very segmented with like large bony plates that give it like a much more menacing look.
Oh yeah, it's almost
And
insectoid in those.
yeah,
Oh yeah, an important interesting thing I've always found about aliens especially is that they take on characteristics of the species that they've chest bursted. Like in
hmm
Alien 3, this is the only time I'm gonna touch on that really. It chest
yeah.
bursts a dog, which gives birth to this bizarre xenomorph that was called the Runner that ran on all four legs.
Oh God. But yeah, I
Was
believe wasn't it correct me if I'm wrong, James, but was the alien the xenomorph in Alien the drone and then the
yeah,
xenomorphs in Aliens were the warriors?
yeah. The drone
Okay.
is the one that shows up in the first thing. That's not a attack alien, mind you. That one's there as like a normal worker ant, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's not super. Why it looks a bit different than the rest of them.
Yeah.
But good lordy, I think it's still my favorite design, the first specific one, because of the translucent headpiece where you could see the skull
Mm-hmm.
partially through it.
I know that's so cool.
But yeah, the specifically the AOE in Aliens, they have the segmented head plates, which are also specifically seen on the Queen there in a much more grand fashion, where they are the Xenomorph warriors, which are specifically dedicated to fighting.
Gotcha.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
it's so cool. I honestly like the design of the warriors though, just because they're so intricate. I love it.
oh yeah. Apparently, the original H.R. Geiger art that was made in 1976 that served as a base for the aliens design was called Necronom 4 in Roman numerals. IV,
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna correct me on that.
Yeah.
That's 4, right? IV, because the one coming before the 5 means
I
one less than
believe
5.
so.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Okay.
it a
Uh,
hmm?
what'd you say? I think I cut you off there.
Oh, no, good. I was to say, are you talking about like excuse me, Necronomicon?
No, it's called Necronom 5. It's one of the H.R. Geiger's. Uh, it's a surrealist print they did that serves as the basis for that. Let me type it in chat so you can look it up for you. Let me actually just
Okay.
send it to you. Let me just copy image, put it over here. This is right there. That was made.
Oh,
It's a drawing that
okay.
was made long before Alien was ever created, and it's
Yeah.
as the basis
Yeah.
of the Alien's
What did you
design.
say that the name was again?
Let me type it out for you. It's Necronom 5.
Necronom? That's really interesting because H.P. Lovecraft actually made some book series actually called the Necromicon. The
Oh,
Necronomicon. God, I can't speak.
oh yeah,
Which
the
is
translates to Book
actually
of the Dead.
includes the Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
apparently
so
Geiger's book that he made was called Necronomicon.
yeah, that's what I was saying. This sounds like I was like Necronomicon. Hang on, what did you say?
Uh, Necronom 5. I haven't put it in chat there. But
Thank you.
Geiger's book that he put out, his art book, was called Necronomicon too.
Yeah. From what I remember, I think that Geiger actually insisted that the xenomorph lacks anything resembling eyes, so obviously it's like more menacing and stuff. And honestly, I think it works because due to its lack of sight, I think it's been largely suggested that the xenomorph hunts prey primarily by following like scent molecules, like pheromones and stuff, which allows to distinguish them between prey and their own kind, and
Oh yeah,
echolocation. But I don't think that's been confirmed in the two
pheromones would
movies
make
that we've seen.
a lot of sense, especially as the fact that they are very insectoid.
Hmm.
That would fall in line especially well with how ants function, which is what
Hmm.
seems like their social status is based around. Oh, that's funny. Apparently, the creator of the head effects, the mechanical head effects for the creature, were
Yeah,
created by the guy who made the puppet for ET.
I love that. That's really cool.
His name was Carl Rimbaldi. Oh, apparently the mock-up of the alien was created using parts of an old Rolls Royce, rib bones and vertebrae from a snake, and molded in plasticine. And oh my
Hmm.
god, the head was animatronic.
Wow.
It had over 900 moving parts. Holy
Okay, this is super fucking
shit.
funny. So, obviously we know of Alien versus Predator, which we'll probably cover at some point in the future once I see it. But doing some looking over. I'm just gonna read this little portion that I'll just read this to you, word for word. The crew of the Nostromo isn't the only group of unfortunate souls to take on the xenomorph. The carnivorous space creep has locked horns with the likes of the Predator, Terminator, Darth Vader, Green Lantern, and even Batman.
They loved using him in comics.
Yeah, obviously these encounters have all happened in comic form except for a Predator crossover film or video game tie-up that aren't considered canon. Still, it is fun to imagine that might happen if, or what might happen if our favorite superheroes or action stars come in contact with one of these bad boys.
That's amazing. Oh man, I'm looking at some of the stuff for the appearance of the xenomorph here. And
Mm-hmm.
what was it right here? Apparently, a little detail about them is that they do not radiate any body heat,
Really?
which makes them completely distinguishable from the surroundings with thermal imaging. Meaning, that's why they couldn't see shit when they were coming in to land and checking it with thermal.
Oh, that makes
That's
whoa.
that's pretty cool.
That is actually really dope. Oh.
Oh yeah, really interesting. You may be wondering how aliens produce because they're drones and they're insectoid. We have the queen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do they and the face huggers? This is despite you may be thinking the aliens are super violent, right? They just go kill everything they see, pretty much. They
Mm-hmm.
don't kill everyone. They will take a select few. I'm not sure what they use to select these select few, but they grab a couple people and will drag them back to their lairs and cocoon them with this sort of strong resin they can secrete from their mouths and leave them. And then the queen will come along, lay a facehugger egg in front of them, which will eventually open and impregnate the person they put in there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of interesting. It's a really unique way for a creature to reproduce. It almost makes me wonder if they were created rather than just kind of evolved.
Yeah, who knows?
It seems like a really long and deliberate way to reproduce.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not the norm.
Oh yeah. It was also interesting how the alien queen seems to be really easily able to detach from the egg-laying section of it, and and also sometimes takes matters in their own hands to actively pursue things that are a threat to the nest.
Yeah. Oh, I completely forgot. I remember I was going to tell you. All right. So, I haven't been to Disney. And I swear to God, this is on topic. I
Oh yeah,
haven't been to Disney in a hot minute.
me neither.
But, one of the only times that I went to Hollywood Studios, there's a ride. There was a ride there, I should say. Closed down, I think, back in 2017. But it was called the Great Movie Ride. From 1989 to 2017, the Great Movie Ride was host to a bunch of different movie characters and stuff in like Disney, or it had like Indiana Jones, it had what was it? Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
So, there was a scene where the ride car pulls up, yes, into the Nostromo. I think you know where this is going.
that's pretty cool. That's really cool, actually.
So, yes, Alien was in Disney, essentially. This car pulls into this room with the climatic escape from the Nostromo. Alarms are blazing, fog is just gushing from stuff, and an acid spitting xenomorph is just on the ceiling. Scary. It was. I remember all the other kids in this car were so terrified. I was loving it.
That
I was
sounds
like,
so
"This is
sick.
fun." Like, I was so bored. I'm like, oh my god, Indiana Jones. Okay, that's kind of cool. Oh god, Wizard of Oz. Okay. And in this dark room, just, and I'm like, oh, this is sick.
Stuff makes me really wish I didn't miss the 1 year of Halloween Horror Nights. They had the Alien versus Predator house
I
because
know.
I've seen bits and pieces of it through like YouTube, and oh my god, I wish I could have seen it.
Yeah. I wonder if actually I could find it. Hang on. I wonder if they annual. Okay, Alien. Great. I swear to God. I swear to God. This is the only thing I remember from, yeah!
I thought you were gonna start talking about the Disney ride they had for a while. Well, it wasn't a ride; it was more of an experience. It's now the Stitch escaping from that tube,
Yes,
but it
yes.
used to be an Alien-like experience. It was originally formatted for Alien.
Yeah, extraterrestrial alien encounter. Yes, I would also
Yeah,
um you know what's really funny? The original array name for the attraction was actually just Nostromo, and it was supposed to just be about Alien.
I really wish they'd
Um
followed through with that, but they wanted to make it more family friendly because it's Disney.
yeah, yeah, it's so funny because literally both of the it was so funny because that was the original concept, and then sorry, my brain farted. So they had the original concept, and they're like, okay, that's too scary, and then like, oh, the movie had rated R. It was too frightening, and they stuck the alien with the Great Movie Ride.
It's,
But the actual extraterrestrial was so freaking terrifying, dude. It was scary, but I'm just trying to. Here, I'll send this here. So I'll send this to you, James. But hello. Paste. All right, so that is should be the great. Okay, so that's the Great Movie Ride scene, and then Alien. What was the other thing I was gonna send you? I can't remember.
I'm not too sure actually.
Fuck, James.
I'm sorry.
I think it was the extraterrestrial.
I'm surprised they went with Alien out of all things, rather than
I know. I know. I thought it was so funny, but God, I wish that Disney was like that.
That's funny. They have like a little. They had a an animatronic of Ellen Ripley standing there with the flamethrower.
Yeah. Like literally, what was it? Yeah, literally all of the scary Disney rides were my favorite. We had the Great Movie Ride, only the alien scene, and then Dinosaur. I don't know how this got to Disney, but hey.
That's cool. They had this. They have the final scene of the first movie as the that portion in the Great this movie ride, which is funny because that's probably the most intense section out of the entire film.
Right?
Where the ship's about to blow up and Mother's counting down slowly of when the ship's about to self-destruct, and Ripley's like crying, trying to scramble around the ship.
Hang on, my video. There you go. Sorry, my video started playing. I'm like, I didn't ask. I didn't ask. Wait, wait,
Wait,
wait.
oh my, that's a really good. Oh my god, they put so much effort into the alien puppet they have in that ride. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm watching the. I literally just started watching the footage again just because. Um, it's been forever since I seen it, but it's just so cool. I love it.
That's really funny that they picked that out of all.
But everything's so interestingly detailed. Yeah, there he is. God, it's beautiful looking.
Oh yeah, he's beautiful.
But yeah, that's that. I
Yeah.
thought that you'd find that super cool.
Oh yeah, of course I would. You know me too well.
Exactly. I wish it was still that, or there was like at least a ride based off of like Alien. God, that'd be so fucking sick,
I would
dude.
love some sort of ride that was based off Alien or some sort of experience where I got to like walk through the Nostromo and get harassed by these Xenomorphs. You know what I really want is I ought to
Hmm.
install that port that someone made of Alien Isolation where you can play in VR.
Hmm.
That's a real thing. So I have Alien Isolation. I got a VR headset. Oh my god, that'd be amazing playing in VR. I still want to get myself a Nostromo patch for
That'd be fun.
specifically for a flight suit.
Yeah, I believe that I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, there you go. I believe that that animatronic that was still in the so there were two, if I remember. So I just to fact check myself. So there was two animatronic versions of that xenomorph that was used in the ride. One activated right after the other to create the illusion of two different attacks from the same creature from two different locations. If
Yeah,
one looks carefully, one of the animatronics are actually seen waiting for activation in the shadows to the side of the vehicle. And after the ride closed down, the xenomorph animatronic that attacked from the ceiling was put on display with other animatronics from other retired Disney rides, including the Mayan priest from El Rio de Tempio, which was rethemed to the Three Calabreros, and Epcot, Captain RX-24 from the original Star Tours, and then the non-CGI hitchhiking ghost from the Haunted Mansion.
that's pretty cool if they had them all together.
And it's so funny because if you actually listen carefully during the ride, you can actually hear a Jonesy in the background meowing. Just occasionally,
Oh,
you can just hear him meowing.
the best cat to ever survive a horror film.
Yes.
I still find that really funny in that scene in the Alien one where the Xenomorph comes in contact with Jonesy when he's in the carrier. Instead of, killing and eating him like you'd expect, the alien just looks at him for a little bit and ignores him.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the aliens only hate humans.
Yeah, literally.
I wonder what the Wikipedia page has to say about Jonesy. Oh, he's even called his name's Jones, but he's still called Jonesy on the Wikipedia page. That's adorable.
Aw, Jonesy.
Oh yeah, it's pretty notable. He's one of the only two survivors from the Nostromo, being Ripley and him.
Yeah.
And the cat actor's name was Boris. That's amazing.
Aw.
I love little Boris.
Yeah, like literally. There was some when that the Great Movie Ride existed, so many people were fucking scared of it. Obviously.
Oh yeah. In order to get the effect of Jonesy hissing in fear at the alien coming descending behind uh, what was his name? It was descending behind one of the characters there. I think a German Shepherd was placed in front of him with like a screen, so he couldn't
Mm-hmm.
see it at first. But then they lifted up the screen, and Jonesy saw him, which he has. I guess he didn't like German Shepherds a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Well. Yeah, and um so you know how I'm so mad that they got rid of the Great Movie Ride. I wish I could have gone one more time just to see it.
That would
But
have
you
been
know what
cool
they
if they.
fucking replaced it with?
I don't know what they put it with.
Some Mickey Mouse train runaway train attraction or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's disgusting.
oh, I just had it happen to me where a something started playing and scared the hell out of me.
Hmm.
I was on a web page.
Oh, fun.
Oh, I'm still looking at cat facts over here. Apparently, Jonesy would have been the longest cat with the lifespan in history, where he would have been 60 with cryosleep because he spent 57 years in cryosleep.
Oh wow.
Apparently, the current world record in real life is a cat named Cream Puff that lived for 38 years and 3 days. Wow.
What happened?
A cat, the actual current record of the longest lived cat, his name was Cream Puff, and he lived for 38 years and 3 days,
Whoa. That thing.
1967 to 2005.
Wow.
Holy shit!
Wow. But yeah, I wish that was the only thing that I liked about Disney is that they put Alien in there.
I gotta say, I don't think Disney's exactly my full cup of tea. There's not a whole lot of stuff for me at Disney.
No, but that was the only thing that was interesting, and they took it away.
Yeah, which is funny because I live in Florida. We both live in Florida, which is really well known for being the giant tourist spot for Disney over there in Kissimmee.
And theme parks, just theme parks are crazy.
Yeah. Universal, SeaWorld, and Disney. Although personally, I think Universal is the best out of all of them.
Yeah, I like Universal.
Yeah,
They have Halloween Horror Nights.
we just got back from that actually.
Yeah, we did. Which I think that we're probably going. We also went with Luna, who was featured in our Rob Zombie episode. So, we might possibly maybe because she gave me the idea for it, do a review about Halloween Horror Nights once it's over. We don't want to spoil anything for those who are still going, so that one's probably going to be until like maybe early November.
We'll be discussing that soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Very soon.
Yeah, just because we're gonna go through heavy spoilers, especially with me. But for those who haven't gone yet, we want everyone to get a chance to see it. And I probably will be going back within the next few weeks to see the last 3 houses that we didn't get to go to. So
Let me know how those are, by the way.
I will. Um, yeah, we got through 7 of them, which is a world record for us actually. We got through the only ones that we didn't get to see is Chucky, Exorcist, and Stranger Things. So
I'm not,
maybe we'll be able to see them.
which I'm not too up in arms about. We got to see all
No,
the
I'm
original
not gonna.
houses.
Yeah, I'm not gonna really miss. I'm not gonna be upset if I miss it, but we'll see if I get to go back in the future when my schedule's less busy. But we'll see. We'll get there.
They're like original, original houses, personally.
Yeah, so we'll get there. So be on the lookout for that.
Oh yeah, coming soon, coming very soon.
Yes, but is there anything else that we didn't talk about Alien? I feel like this was so short. I don't even know what our time is at actually.
It's around an hour, or maybe a little bit over an hour right now.
Let's see. Started at 8:21. So it's been like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Or not even an hour and a half. Almost an hour and a half.
there's a little more reference. At some point, I wanna get you to play Alien Isolation.
Oh yeah, the
'Cause
game. I need to.
I would love to watch you play through that because it's a really effective horror experience
Oh
where you
God,
actually
I'm
get,
gonna shit my pants, man.
especially after the time you tried to play Five Nights at Freddy's in VR.
Oh my God! Don't tell them about that.
You got terrified.
You're gonna tell them about it, aren't you? All right.
You got terrified. Set the headset down on my bed.
Mm,
Which, if you don't know about the 5 Minutes of Phrase in VR game, help wanted. If your head is registered as outside of the office, it triggers an automatic jump scare from Foxy on the left side of the office, just running down.
mm-hmm.
So the headset's off. It's turned off. So it's registered as outside of the thing because it's been set down the bed. So I
Yeah.
go to finish the night. I'm like, okay, don't worry, I got it. I go ahead, put the headset back up, and then immediate jump scare. That's
No.
fucking made me about shit myself.
Nice.
But Alien Isolation is a very interesting game in that you find out that Ellen Ripley is a mother, and her daughter, Amanda Ripley, is who you get to play as in that game.
Mm-hmm.
We also get to hear some brilliant voice cameos from Ellen, for Sigourney Weaver coming back to reprise her role. And what's it? The actual AI for the alien in that game won a couple awards because of how effective it was. It's very, very. It's not a stupid AI. It's not a dumb creature you can just trick in. It doesn't. It has object permanence. That's the scary part about it. It has normal problem-solving skills and has object permanence, unlike most games.
Damn.
You can't just
No, I
peekaboo it. It will rip you out of that locker and kill you.
yeah. So for reference, folks, I don't play a lot of video games. I think we discussed this in a prior episode, I'm sure. But I don't play a lot of video games, and I love horror movies. But God, my anxiety just goes through the roof when I'm playing anything horror games. Like I can't finish any horror game. Like I think I played like Five Nights at Freddy's VR, like for like just not even like I'm not even a minute. I'm like I can't do it. I can't do it.
I love horror
um,
games myself.
I can't do it. Like I have really bad anxiety. So absolutely not. Like literally my games that I play, like I play one singular game and that's Cult of the Lamb. That's about it. That's the closest to horror I get to game-wise. And that's really stupid because
It's a
hey,
good game. There's
you
nothing
go
wrong
to
with it.
Halloween Horror Nights. I mean, I don't know if it's just mixed with the fact that like, oh, I don't play video games very much, so I'm not used to it, but oh God.
I remember when the first time I ever went to Halloween Horror Nights with you, where I was terrified out of my mind to even go in the houses.
Mm-hmm.
You're the reason I really love them now. You know that?
Good. I tend to do that to people. God, how many people have I introduced to Horror Nights, honestly?
I
I
thought
think I introduced the entire friend group at this point.
I really thought you were just gonna leave it at good.
Good. Yeah, good.
It sounded so threatening. You just,
Good.
oh, you made me love this thing. Good.
Good. uh, but yeah, I know I'm a little bitch when it comes to video games, but hey,
Ah,
maybe it'll be something that I get into as time progresses. I'll keep you guys posted.
I'll get you
Follow
know.
the Instagram page, everybody. You'll see me you'll see me shit my pants playing Five Nights at Freddy's VR, Alien Isolation. Oh,
Oh, trust me, I'll get you know.
oh God,
Playing
no.
Outlast.
You have a much higher chance of getting me to play Alien Isolation instead of fucking Five Nights at Freddy's VR. I love Five Nights at Freddy's, don't get me wrong, but God, I'm not touching that game again. Absolutely not.
I think I've actually beaten almost all the nights in VR.
Congratulations, James.
That shit's so much worse in VR. Sorry, I
I,
just I swear a lot on these things. I apologize to anyone who doesn't like my
you're
foul
fine.
language, but I swear like a damn sailor sometimes. But Five
Mm-hmm.
Nights at Freddy's in VR, it's one thing to see them on a screen in the office, but seeing them actually in person, literally being
Ew.
an actual like almost like oh, you're half the animatronics height in that game.
Oh
They are
God.
so big. It is
I,
terrifying.
yeah.
When they're sitting
Ugh.
down on the table for the game where you repair them, they
Mm-hmm.
are still head height. They are sitting down and they are still looking you in the eyes.
Oh my God.
It is so scary.
I bet.
I don't
Ugh.
I don't know much that can recreate that feeling of dread you get just seeing them. Especially because if you leave the light on to the office in the first like the one that recreates the first game, as the
Yeah.
animatronics are walking by your office, which you get to see, if you leave the door open and just leave the light on, they will stop in front of the door, turn and look at you.
Ugh. Ew. That's so creepy.
I've never panic shut a door faster in my life.
Oh, I fucking bet,
I
man.
haven't stuck around long enough to figure out what happens if you just leave the door open. I don't want to. I really don't want to.
No, I'm gonna take nope for 500, please. Absolutely not.
I'm already worried about breaking my headset from jumping too hard during a jump scare. And I don't want to break my headset. That thing's been around. That thing's the original Oculus that came out for PC.
Oh God.
She's lasted me a very, very long time. And I don't want FNAF to be the reason she breaks.
Hmm.
And I don't want FNAF to be the reason the poor girl breaks.
Oh, what poor girl. I'm think some of my audio cut out.
I'm talking about the headset.
Oh, yeah. Tech is a little
A
what
little
is
old,
it? Older. Yeah, there you go.
being the original Oculus that came out. Oh my, there's another graphics driver. Okay,
What happened with the graphics driver?
there's a new one that just came out that I have to download. Because if I don't download, my graphics card pitches a fit and starts breaking my computer every 5 seconds.
Oh, we love that.
My computer's interesting. It's powerful, but it is the most temperamental piece of machinery I've ever had the issue of working with, and I've flown 6 planes from the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are somehow the shipbox that I've used for flight training is been more consistent with me than my computer.
We love that. Oh my god, my artwork saved. Holy sh!
Hey,
For the record, guys, I'm just transferring some stuff over from my art. I usually do artwork. Oh, it didn't save everything, but it saved most of it. Oh wow, whatever, that's fine. Um, but sorry, I'm just trying to work some stuff out. So don't worry about me, guys.
I recently gave Ashley here a new iPad.
I did. Well, you didn't.
Yeah, my mother found it actually.
Yes.
It's a thank you, mom. I know
Yeah.
you're
Thank you,
listening. Thank
mommy.
you, mom.
Yeah. She's here for she's here supporting us through our podcasty endeavors.
Oh man.
But yeah, thank you. I'm not gonna drop any names, of course, but thank you, mommy. Thank you, mommy James.
Mommy. Oh
Gonna
lordy.
fucking slap me the next time she sees me in person after listening to this episode. Anyway, continuing on.
All right. Do you have any more comments to add about Alien? I think I'm all the way through with what I have to say about it.
God. Um, I guess I can continue on a little bit more, but honestly, I think that the Alien franchise. Now, of course, again, I haven't seen anything. I'm only biased based off the first two movies that I've seen, and Dead by Daylight and all that stuff. But just this movie franchise literally changed my life and how I see things. So many. I have gotten so many inspirations as an artist, especially from the franchise. Like just the modeling of the character and the sheer willpower of Ellen Ripley as a character is just so inspirational. And I guess just probably do it one by one. But first, I can talk about aliens, the actual aliens, for a little bit. But Ellen Ripley as a character, like I said, is fantastic. Like
Oh yeah.
best decision that they probably have ever made, because just think about the amount of people that she's inspired.
Oh
Because
yeah.
again, especially during that time where this movie came out, not I don't think a lot of any women characters actually like that came out. And after this happened, just think about the inspiration that a bunch of young girls got from watching this character on screen, and even young women, old women even.
Yeah. She's a really inspiring character. Really amazing woman. She's more than just a final girl. She's an amazing character.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She
Like
does.
just
She still becomes a final girl, but not in the same manner, terrified, freaking out manner that most of the rest of them are. She's
mhm.
she's a lot more calculated than you find a lot of them.
Yeah, just like because she's super smart and she uses her brain to think things through. Like I don't think she makes a singular bad decision. Everything she does is completely rational. Like when she's talking about the quarantine policy, like, hey, you know the drill, and people are not listening to her. Those people that don't listen to her are the ones that get killed off because
Especially,
they.
oh,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say a major part of her intelligent things that I've seen her do is the bit where they're trapped with the facehuggers in the room and aliens, and they can't get from that shithead CEO guy, or not the
Hmm.
CEO, the company guy, when he's trying to get them impregnated by the facehuggers, and
Hmm.
instead of they try and get out through the glass, and Ellen very simply realizes that she could just put a flame near the fire extinguisher, and that causes the fire alarms to go off, which gets them saved.
Hmm.
That simple mode of just putting the fire up to the fire extinguisher just struck me as really intelligent.
Oh yeah,
Eh,
she's super smart.
I'm not even sure if I would have thought about that in this scenario.
Of course not. I wouldn't,
Eh,
but I didn't mean to say, of course not to you. I didn't mean to make you sound
I don't know. I get what
dumb
you're
or
saying.
anything.
I
Okay.
know.
I was just like, oh no, my brain didn't think that through.
You're good. I got what you were saying.
Okay, good. But she's just such an amazing character. Like this movie, the Alien and Aliens, I did not get bored because I sit through some stuff and I'm just like, oh, this is I don't care for it.
This one,
But
you're on the edge
this
of your seat the whole time.
I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I was invested in the story from start to finish, and I'm just like, man, this is fantastic. And just I am legitimately excited to see the rest of the series and see how it goes. I mean, will it be as good? I don't know. I'm not going to make that assumption, nor is anyone going to. I hopefully no one's going to spoil it for me, James.
The Alien series is
But
actually really interesting with its sequels, in that the recent films, Prometheus and Alien, whatever the most recent one was called with the Neomorph in it,
Mhm.
I actually really like the modern films. I think they did a good job.
All right, well, I'm excited then. But we'll get there when we get there.
Oh yeah.
Um, for the record, people, just taking a quick break before I continue on my little ramble, heartfelt ramble, I guess. For this franchise, or for this, yeah, covering this franchise, we're probably gonna do two movies at a time, just for simplicity's sake for you guys, and also for simplicity's sake for us, because I am a very busy individual. I don't know why I'm doing a podcast in
Most of us
general,
are.
but yeah, both super busy, and it'll just be a lot easier for us to record and get together and record and also edit it. So it's the next episode will probably be Alien 3 and Alien 4. So just letting
I'm
you
gonna
guys
have
know.
some things to say about those.
Oh boy, I bet you will. But we're not getting there, so
Not
we'll
yet.
continue. Yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, back to Ripley, I guess. But just she's a fantastic character. I am super, super inspired by her. She's amazing.
Me too.
I don't see a lot of movies or books or whatever that really cement strong characters, especially women, being portrayed. So it's definitely awesome as a woman seeing that.
Yeah. And she's
'Cause
relatable to every side too. It's not just like, a lot of characters will be written for like explicitly to be a strong female role,
it just kind of
but
happened.
she just kind of happened. She wasn't
Hmm.
designed to be a a box checker for like a lot of movies tend to do, where they have a character explicitly to fill that role of, all right, we have to have a strong female lead. No, they just wrote an amazing character.
And then just decided to make it a female.
Yeah, it's not hard to make really good characters and just making them women like that.
Hmm.
I just feel like a lot of modern films try to check a box rather than write a character with things like that.
Yeah. As for the Xenomorph, come on, they look fucking awesome. Like wow.
Amazing.
I again, even before I watched the movies, I read the books and I've I've again like we talked about, been to the Great Movie Run. I've seen that scene. I've been familiar with the Xenomorph, absolutely. But just being able to see it from the actual source material that they came from is just awesome. And they're very, very well designed. They don't look they're creepy without being creepy. Like it's not like, oh, we're gonna give you bloody teeth and we're gonna give you these dark glowing eyes and blah blah blah. They're legitimately terrifying just because of their simplicity. And
And
that's really hard to do as an artist,
especially
coming
the
from an artist.
especially the impressive use of biomechanicalness, which you don't see a lot in creatures.
No. Because like again, like they said, they wanted to make a creature that was related to biomechanics, but also supernatural and like a creature, like a living being.
Yeah,
They pulled that off fantastically,
absolutely
I
beautifully.
feel. Like it's gorgeous. Like literally my brand new iPad, my back I literally got it today. My backdrop for my wallpaper is literally a xenomorph. It's fucking funny. Just
Oh
so
yeah,
every time I open this up, I see this gorgeous, gorgeous face. It's just like just the detail, the absolute detail that goes into these creatures is fantastic. Because you have the teeth and you have their little mouth tongue thingy and their tendons their condom tendons, and like just their you could like James said earlier, you could see their skull under their head, and just it's beautiful. It's
Uh,
so good.
There's a specific horror game that I think I really ought to show you that's entirely based off of H.R. Geiger's works. I forgot what it's called, but imagine that type of thing built into an entire universe that is a game.
Oh my god, it'd be so cool.
It's so cool. H.R. Geiger's work is absolutely brilliant, and I love that they used him as an inspiration for the design, especially of
Hmm.
the ship that the space jockey's in.
Yeah.
Remember the ship?
One more time?
Remember the ship that they find all the eggs in?
Yes.
God, this ship is amazing design. It's called Scorn, by the way, the game I'm talking about. Scorn. Oh, you still
But
there?
like literally,
There you
yeah,
are.
I'm here. But like literally, it's just the design is just so dreadful yet so beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
I mean, they're really cute. They're kind of cute in their own way too.
Oh yeah. Then again, I'm also the type of person that finds insects cute, so
Yeah, and it's so funny because that design, or is there? I think it was Alien Resurrection. I think it was the final movie. Geiger didn't make that one. He made the designs for all the other movies, but he didn't make that one. He hated it because he thought it looked like a turd.
oh no.
It was so funny.
He's probably mad about the newborn that they made in that one.
Probably. But yeah, if you haven't seen Alien, I highly, highly recommend that you do. It's fantastic.
I do
It's
too.
a gorgeous piece of art. Just amazing characters, amazing story, amazing visuals. Just everything is perfect to me. And there could be people that hate it and disagree with me. Absolutely, you're entitled to your own opinions, but I hope you're happy with being wrong.
And it is my favorite horror movie that I've ever
Mine too.
watched.
Like I've seen I've loved I think my favorite movies as of recently, favorite horror movies as of recently, were probably those of Ari Aster's, which we'll probably cover at some point in the future.
Oh yeah.
As I say with everything we bring up on the podcast, we'll probably get to it at some point. But
I love Ari
like, I
Aster's
have a
work so
giant
much.
whiteboard in my room right now above my desk where I have all of our ideas. Like, they'll happen at some point. We just don't know when. We have a bunch of ideas. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. But just I already forgot what I was gonna say. Crap.
We're talking about Ari Aster.
Yes. Recently, my favorite films have been Ari Aster's. Like Midsommar, Hereditary is phenomenal. We'll get to that.
Ooh yeah.
Absolutely. Probably my favorite modern film. Like definitely one of my favorites.
Me
But
too.
Alien is just so mwah. It's so simple. Like there's nothing really to it. There's no like serial killer out to get you. There's no like any creepy weird shit happening. But just the simplicity and the unnervingness and just like what's gonna happen. It's just that's what gets me when I see a horror movie. Not usually about slasher, which of course they're classics. I love slasher films, but just movies that are completely just they know how to get under your skin and they do it well. Those are what scares me. Just the unknown, being unable to realize, okay, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna die? Are they gonna not? What's gonna happen?
It's really really amazing as keeping the suspense and just the way all of them are shot.
Mm-hmm. And I definitely want to get Luna to watch it,
Oh yeah.
especially as like a digital media person. We might be working with her for a little bit, but she'll probably make some appearances here and there. Of course, she's busy with her own stuff, and of course, she has her own podcast. But we'll have her back on the show occasionally
Oh yeah, she's
because
back.
not
She ain't getting
only
away from us.
no, not only is she just like our friend and funny, but just her level of intelligence when it comes to anything in her craft is just crazy. Like I could talk to her about movies and stuff for hours, and it's amazing,
Me
especially
too.
after working with her during clubs and on this stuff. It's just awesome.
I've gotten into giant conversations with Luna about
Don't do that. Don't yawn on our podcast. Not
Sorry,
allowed. Banned.
sorry, it's
Banned. Banned.
very
Banned.
late. It's very late. I'm sorry.
It's 10 o'clock. What do you mean?
Tired.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I've gotten into like entire hours long conversations with Luna there about camera work.
Oh yeah. I think she said that she needs to teach you some stuff.
I would like to learn more about it.
Yes, but I know we've been kind of jumping topics ever since the episode specifically. But I feel like as every episode goes on, we're just more and more just have a lot on our minds, and we're just being less cutthroat, I guess, which
Yeah,
is good.
it's
So
good. It's what podcasts are, the discussions.
yeah, sometimes they get derailed, but it's the premise: having a good time and
Yeah.
all the good stuff is what it is. And I think with that, we'll go ahead and end this episode after a little heartfelt little moment of gathering. Oh, so sweet. But yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well,
been a great time talking about Alien here. Hope to see you all back next
yes,
time we talk about the Aliens 3 and 4, potentially, or whatever topic we cover next there.
we will. It might not be the next video, depending again, like I said, goes completely on our schedule if when I'll be able to get to it. But um, honestly, we might be doing a We might be. I think our next episode is probably going to be a Halloween special, and it's going to be on probably one of my favorite movies ever. If maybe, but we'll do a Halloween special at some point. We'll do
Yeah.
something special, but it's probably going to be a classic monster. Honestly,
Because it is right around the corner.
it is right around the corner. It's probably going to be Creature from the Black Lagoon, maybe.
Which, fun fact, parts of that were filmed right here in our home state.
Yes, in our home states. So, yeah.
All right, friends. It's been a pleasure. Hope,
Yes,
hope you
thank
all have
you
enjoyed it.
everybody for joining.
Of course.
So, yeah. All right. Man, I feel like I'm gonna cry after a little heartfelt. It wasn't even heartfelt. I just started talking about some bullshit.
You're fine.
Yeah. Well, anyway, for the third time already, thank you guys for joining. We appreciate it. Thank you, James, for being
Thank
my
you.
right hand man here, as always.
Thank you again, hi.
Yeah. All right. Well, as James usually says, have a good day wherever you guys reside, whatever time zone you may live in.
Day, night.
And yeah, good night and stay spooky.
Stay spooky, friends. Stay spooky.